All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you folks laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that.
All right. Welcome to the 204th episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, this is our Dak Prescott episode because Dak Prescott, young African-American quarterback, dominating a typically white dominated position and doing well. He's won, 2 division titles. He's won a playoff game. He's doing his damn thing. One of the highest rated QBs in the league. And I think that's what we are to podcasting, right? Yeah. Pretty dominated. And then with the beer, white dominated industry, we got the craft industry on lockfall. So we out here, man, trying to get a ring. Yeah. See, every now and then I wake up and I'm like, let me put something real together with these athletes, and it works. Yeah. I think the better day scarf, the better my analogy. I'm happy host, damn man, Bailey. I'm joined, as always, with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. We are the Drinking Partners.
I figured that was coming. I knew that was coming.
if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. 204 episodes, man. We've been asking y'all. We will continue to ask you, man, please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review. That's how we know what we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. And that's how we continue to do well, man. So please hop on iTunes, rate and review.
Yeah, man, you love us. You see us out in public. You tell us that you love us all the time. Now, at the click of a button, please tell the internet, please tell the world. And we mean that. Please log on, let people know that we're dope so that more people listen. Yeah. And then, we blow up. And then we'll still give love to the city as we go and just blow up and be beyond. But just let us know, you know what I'm saying? And as always, 203 times we've said it. Yeah. This will be the 204th time. I'm going to say it every time I come up here, all right? In lieu of rates and reviews, we do accept shots of Hennessy. Shout out to Car Guy DJ and the Conways for starting the trend. Shout out to everybody for keeping it going. Shout out to all of the support. Shout out to everybody who showed up to the Night of Epic Comedy last night out at Contra Theater. That shit was crazy, man.
Sold out, packed. We had to bring out chairs from
the back. We haven't done that in a while, man. Remember that took us back a little bit. Back to the origin, carrying chairs out, man. We used to carry church pews to the stage. I was a little nervous being surrounded by that many white people on stage, but it was cool.
In the round, man.
In the round, I had to watch my back, but it was pretty dope, man. It was pretty dope. So thank you, everybody who came out, man. We had a great time. All the comedians put on, you know what I'm saying? And Alex DePula brought it home with his headline set, so that was dope, man.
Shout out to Union Brothers coming through with the selection.
Oh,
man.
My goodness. We finally had enough people for how much beer they bring.
Man, yeah, we was kicking off some of them kegs, man. It was dope. They brought up at least 4 or 5 selections. They're going to be a problem when they open up, man. They're already brewing at a very high quality, and they'll be up there in Harmony.
Harmony, yeah.
I mean, a Zilly
everything
area.
Back to the origins, man. I remember them shows out in Harmony Ridge.
Yeah,
it used to be a hike. Now it don't seem like it take long to get out there.
Ain't it crazy?
It's like 20 minutes to get out there. It's not that bad.
Yeah, once you get used to traveling outside the city, it is like but this is just that initial outside, right? Getting outside the county. Once you get used to that, and then you be like, it's relative.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, the city, everything's outside of the city limits. Like most things happen outside the city limits of the city of Pittsburgh. Yeah. Like so, if you can't make it downtown Arcade, come to our shows out at Compton. Man, it's always dope.
It's 20 minutes up on 279, man.
Nothing,
like
man.
It's just
no
right
traffic.
there. Not at all. Ain't nobody doing.
I speed. I hit 80 on the way out there. Pretty consistent.
It's pretty easy. It's in and out. I mean. And if you're looking for us, we'll be Arcade April
420.
420.
Don't act like you forgot already. It's smoke day.
Yeah. Well, I won't be smoking on that day. Be a motherfucker. We'll get into that later. But anyway, 420 come through and see us on.
He need time to cope with that. It's your decision. Nobody put a gun in. It's your decision.
420. Cerrone Russell's coming through from the DMV. You know what I mean? Coming
it's
out
legal out there, and he coming here to where it's not illegal. Just to get back to his roots.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be dope. We got him headlining. We got Mindful coming through, starting their residency. With our shows 3 months running. I mean, so come check them out, arcadecomedytheater.com. And then April 27th, we got Norlex Belma.
The homie coming back, man. Every time he come back through the city, we got to get him on because Norlex is the next big thing, man. He's on his way, so we got to get him while we can still get in on the buddy pass.
Yeah, you still know us, man.
The family early discount. Like, yo, come through, man, for the love, brother. For the love. But yeah, April 27th, man, we'll be back at Compton Theater, man. ComptonTheater.ticketleap.com. I hope I said that right.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
And Mindful will be there again.
Yeah. Mindful for the next 3 months, man. Come through. I mean, and get some of that love from them. And then they'll also be at Fresh Fest is a thing that's happening. August 10th at Nova Place, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, man. America's first and only black beer festival, man. We're looking at 3,000 people coming through at Nova Place this year. We got at this point, we got 70 brewers, 30 black brewers coming in from around the country, 40 local brewers paired with black artists, entrepreneurs, politicians for one-off collaborations. And we've got music, art, live paintings and whatnot. I heard some glass blowers were coming through or some wild shit like that.
I don't know what that is, but just come through. Teach me some shit.
True.
Show me something.
Well, all right. I mean, so DJs. I mean, it's gonna be insane. So if you're looking for tickets for that, that's freshfestbeerfest.com.
It's like a carnival of coolness.
Yeah,
carnival of cool.
It's a festival that we bring beer to instead of just a beer festival. So yeah, it's a carnival of cool, man. That is dope.
Yo, and if anybody want to hire me for the marketing department, I got a resume, man. I'm coming up with all the dopes. I finally get to apply to our shit. We got a carnival of cool with Fresher. Fresher, y'all. This is dope, man. This will be great, man. I love just the direction the city's going in. I love that we're a part of it. I love Wifey doing her thing April 19th. Mm-hmm. She's got the Cocopreneur launch party down at Slade District. That's going to be lit. You know what I mean? So, like, the city is on its way, man. And I love that we get to influence it, man. We're in a privileged position to be at the forefront and influence and be, 1 degree of separation from those who.
We're gonna get the tickets for that though, Coco. You know what I mean.
Shit, I was just now I gotta go log on. Now you gotta put me on the spizzle.
Well, while he looking for those tickets, man, May 2nd, hurry up and say something funny down at Apis Meadery, man. Come check us out. It's a free show, and we basically hurt your feelings, man. It's a crowd work show. We heckling is encouraged. I mean, we encourage y'all to clap at us, but we do clap back and clap often. So come down there May 2nd.
I don't know how I feel about just being associated with clap, but yes, we do. We do respond. We do respond. And on May 2nd, that's gonna be a special one because that's Ray Zawadney's send off.
Ooh, yeah. Ray and Chris.
See, now we both stumped. This is episode 1-1. That's why we can't have people who drink beer on the first episode and on the second episode.
On the second one.
We ain't shit. So, I know Ray Z is his send-off.
Colin Chamberlain's.
Colin. You said Chris. Colin's going. They both going to Chicago, man, doing big things. So, shout out to both of them. And if you want tickets to the Cocopreneur launch party, it's sila.org/events. So, Sila, support your local artists.org/events. Shout out to Sam Black, with the Sila thing going. Like I say, man, we plugged in with everybody who's doing something, man.
Yeah, and Sila will be a part of the Fresh Fest this year as well. So.
Fresh Fest. See, I ain't gonna do that.
Check her out. Check her out.
We gotta get our mics. Our mics got to get Fresh Fest, Fresh Fest compliant, man. I'm gonna be doing that every week now until the festival. I'm gonna be yelling. So get us together, man.
Shout out to Epicast, man, keeping it sounding crisp and clean out in this motherfucker. You know what I mean, if you're looking for somebody to make your podcast sound better, get your media on point, get your name out there, come holla at Epicast, man, over here and work hard, keeping us going. What are we on? Going on 4 years? Going on 5, man.
It's too much, man. We just got our degree, man. So Fresh Fest 2019 to be the graduation party. We just got our degree, man. So
true.
And we got some good stuff in the mail too before we jump into it, man. Our friends up at Trogs blessed us again, man. Shout out to them, man.
Shout out to Trogs. I don't know if we've mentioned it or whatever, but Trogs and Apis and Drinking Partners will be collaborating for Fresh Fest this year. So
that don't get you excited. I don't know what else.
Listen, man, Trogs.
I can't even imagine what that's gonna be.
Apis, Drinking Partners in a can. Like
the can being the most important element of that.
Yo, I'm super excited to I mean, like Dave and them, they're geniuses in what they do. Trogs being who they are, and you know, us bringing a little bit of that funk. I mean, it's gonna be impressive. Shout out to them. They always sending us these care packages. We appreciate that. We got this lolly hop, and it's
lolly hop,
it's dry hop with mosaic, citrus, and Azaka. Now, the Azaka hop is one that I'm a big fan of. It's got I don't know how to describe it, but it's noticeable. I mean, yeah, it's good.
Good as fuck. That's all I can say. I don't got all the descriptions.
Yeah,
that shit's good.
But this is hoppy, a little sweet. Like, I mean, I'm a fan. This is 8.2, so it says to serve in a chalice. We're currently drinking it out of Fresh Fest glasses, but you know, maybe the second can.
I had a chalice like cup. If you all remember back to the early before the hundreds of episodes, I had my elephant tusk that Day hated on, and I believe I have a theory that Day broke it.
We need. Speaking of apis, that's where you got it from. We got to holler at Dave and get another fucking tusk.
Got to get some more tusks, but. So today's going to be a super beersy day. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. Like, we're the drinking partners, but not every time we come in here is like super beersy. Like, we got beer on the first, beer on the second. We saw what they brought. That's actually a really nice and professional. That's a nice cooler over there.
I'm pretty sure Buzzy got a shot of that. I mean, if you see it, it's cool looking and also intimidating.
You know, your cooler's nice as fuck when the cameraman go pan to it. It gets his own shot in HD. You need to move the light over there. It's a nice cooler, man.
My liver is whimpering at the moment. It's like,
his liver is whimpering. So I'm excited about what's coming up, man. We have Brooke and Lee, the Chief Edutainment Officer and Chief SOB of Stewards of Beer. Say what up to the people.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
How's everybody doing?
Okay.
That was very stewarded. I mean,
we are professionals.
That was a very professional what up to the people.
It was.
I feel like that was more of a hello.
Well, these folks are like the backbone of like beer festivals in Pittsburgh, man. It's absolutely insane. And Fresh Fest wouldn't be what it was without you folks. We appreciate that. Like all the madness that was very much like tamed by your professionalism. So we're appreciative to have you guys here. I mean, on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks. It was a good time. We were happy to be a part of it. Keep the madness to a minimum as far as you were concerned.
Oh, that's their tagline. Stewards of Beer on their business card. Keep the madness to the minimum. Yeah. There you go. Now, put me in your marketing department.
Yeah.
Don't just take my shit and put it in quotes.
The first one's always free.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you get them. Yeah. That's how you get them. It
Reel them in. Right?
Yeah. So, technically, we do have our own tagline already. We're here for your beer.
That's okay. I like it.
You know, it's vague enough to encompass everything beer related, but also
so will we have
simple.
A tag off? Is that what we're doing? Just right off the bat?
I'm just saying, mine's already printed on the back of my shirt.
She flexed. She flexed.
Would need a bigger marketing budget and rebranding. We're not ready for that.
She flexed it and he came with the numbers. Like, projections don't support.
His glasses got into the conversation. He adjusted. It was like, let me throw some decimals in here. So for the folks that don't know, tell them what you guys do.
So, well, the tagline does say we're here for your beer, and we can say that multiple ways. We love to drink beer. Everybody that works for us does. That's how you kind of have to do. And we started the company in 2011 based off of working and volunteering at beer festivals for probably 5 or 6 years before that, and somebody offered, hey, we'll pay you to do this. So who says no to money, right?
And, money for beer.
Money for beer, right.
Money and beer. So, yeah, I mean, prior to that, I did get paid in just beer, but you add some money to it, and it's an awesome time to just go to beer festivals, hang out with people, get to know everybody, the brewers. We have some awesome brewers here in Pittsburgh, as well as across the country that come in for different things, and from there, it just grew into doing samplings, and Brooke can talk a little more about that.
Yeah, so on a daily basis, since unfortunately there can't be a beer fest every day or every weekend, most of the stuff that we do with our team is sampling events in grocery stores, beer distributors, etc. So we'll set up for a couple hours, sampling a couple beers from a brewery and try to entice people who come in, hey, you want to try a sample? And our big thing is we want to try to educate the consumers. We don't want to be just another promo team who hands out free swag if you buy the beer. It's about educating the customers on why that hop tastes the way it does, or why this, what this brewery's culture is like, or where it came from, or just anything that we can to educate the customers on the beer that we are promoting at the time, to then hopefully make them want to purchase that beer and probably get some swag in the end too. But that's not our main goal. Our main goal is to educate folks on many different craft beer brands. We're lucky enough to be able to promote a lot of different brands, both local and national and international too. So it's a fun time studying up on beer and
locally respected.
Right.
So 2 things. One, you brought us some beer. Could you pour some and tell us about it?
Always ready to get straight to it.
Two.
I told him it was a light day for me.
Priorities.
He's ready to get straight to it.
2, I'm here for their beer. So 2,
I like that.
You still didn't you do the samplers or whatever, and then you talked about festival, but you still didn't get into what it is that you do at these festivals. You know what I mean? Because you kind of you just kind of you're like, well, we came and then we were drinking and then they offered us money. It was like,
well, as far as you're concerned, that is pretty much what we did.
It's you guys do a bit more. You help support these projects a bit more than just showing up and being around or whatever. So can you kind of get into a bit more of the services that you offer to some of the industry outside of
what's on the About Us page on the website?
Yeah, our website's not the best right now. We're working through that. We could use some website marketing if you got anybody for that.
Well, I could tell them what to type. If that's I can't code any of it. I can tell them what I would like to see.
This. But no, managing the behind the scenes people, basically getting all the stuff set up, whether that's literally setting up tables, tents, figuring out the layouts, helping people figure out, well, that's not going to work over here, or your line for the bathroom is going to be too long over here, so let's move some stuff around or whatever, and then setting up the dump buckets and the water pitchers or the spray bottles or the whatever, and just kind of helping to figure out some of the logistical stuff. And then once the fest gets going, just kind of keeping an ongoing cycle of people to satisfy needs, emptying the dump buckets and filling the water pitchers and making sure that there are people covering the entrances or exits or whatever. Carding people. Carding people is a big thing, actually. We're really proud of that on our team. 100% of our team, we have about 22 people on our staff now, and 100% of them are RAMP certified, which is Responsible Alcohol Management Program through the LCB. So that means we basically are trained in how to properly card people, to know when we should card people, and then also to keep an eye out for responsible serving of alcohol.
When somebody has to sit down and take a break from the VIP section, stop putting their arm around Day.
Y'all are certified in the cutoff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not telling you this because I'd like to. I'm going to just put this badge out here.
Right.
It's not my call, buddy.
Well, the main thing is nobody wants to pick up the vomit after the fact. Somebody drinks a little too much at a festival.
Or get in trouble by over-serving somebody who is then going to go out and do something stupid.
Someone vomits at every festival, right? It's not a real festival till someone...
Probably.
We let them sober enough to make it to the bathroom and go in the proper receptacle as opposed to all over other patrons.
I think we're talking a little bit too much about vomiting as far as our role is concerned. We're really not that much about the vomit at Stewards of Beer.
We're preventing it.
Yes, you're good at preventing it, so you're not. You don't have to handle it as much.
Yeah, but by having our team members on site, circling back to the RAMP certified stuff, people can count on us to have professional, responsible people who know what they're doing to kind of handle looking out for people, making sure if it's a fest that everyone needs to show ID at the door, we can look out for that kind of stuff. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds very square and very not so fun, but it's all the important stuff that has to be looked out for at a beer fest so that the beer fest organizers don't have to worry about lawsuits or any trouble or...
Yeah, so first and foremost, running a fucking beer festival ain't fun. It is very square. Putting on a beer festival is very square and not fun. You know what I mean? That's that allows everybody else to have fun. You know what I
Right.
mean? When you have all the like, T's crossed and then,
Yep.
I's dotted, like
Keep all the
when
moving
you-
parts. And
Yeah. I
in
mean,
line.
because it's madness. Like you said, logistics is huge. I mean, where you're placing people, where you're putting tents and tables, like porta johns and whatnot, flow of traffic and all that. Like,
Right.
and then having all those fires and having like, a system in place to like put those fires out as needed. I mean, it's such a, it's daunting. I mean, especially the larger the festival, the more of that there is. And
Yep.
I think that, a lot of people don't, I think that if it's going well, if the production is going really well, people don't notice it. They don't notice any of it. And that's like, so you guys, I would imagine people don't even notice.
It's
I
a
mean,
thankless
Right.
position, like
Exactly.
and you kind of want it to be that way because
Yeah. As soon as they
Yep.
notice you did something wrong.
Yeah, that's
like-
that's how we know we're doing our job well, is when like you, the organizer, didn't even know there was a problem. And we're like, we took care of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
so y'all the Olivia Pope of beer festival.
Right. Yes.
So now in 2011, you say you started it in 2011. What was the scene like as far as festivals? I mean, it seems like there's a festival popping up. The beer scene is obviously growing and burgeoning. Where did you find yourself at that point, and how do you see the growth and where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, back then there was maybe 2-3 festivals. There was Millvale, which still exists, Big Pour, which everybody knows about, and Brewing Up a Cure was the only other one, which is an awesome homebrew festival that
Yeah.
the guys from Trash put on, or Trube, sorry. And that was about it. Now, yeah, there are almost a beer festival every weekend nowadays.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with them, and I think it's people are starting to realize you got to pick and choose. I mean, there's only so much money in the budget to go to a beer festival, which is another thing that we do. We try to wrangle volunteers, so these beer festivals need people to support it and staff it and empty dump buckets, and the budget's not necessarily there for that, but people are willing to come in and get some free beer, hang out at the festival before or after they're drinking,
Do a little work.
do a little
to
work,
earn their keep
yeah,
while they're there.
and it keeps them from having to buy a ticket. But
Should
we
be.
obviously need people that are going to be responsible. We can't have the volunteers being the one that's
Yeah, also
passed out on the
Chef is,
ground.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean we're about like 204 episodes into our volunteer efforts here at Drinking Partners for free beer.
right.
So we understand the motivation. Tell us about this this mural. Like this is crazy. What is this?
Watermelon-ish.
Yeah, so I believe it's Mural Agua Fresca.
Oh.
It's a collaboration that New Belgium did with I forget the name of it. You might have it in your notes. But basically the premier craft brewery of Mexico City. And Agua Fresca, I guess, is a popular Mexican like food stall type drink. It's basically pureed fruit that is very popular to drink. So they naturally made a collaboration where they mixed the puree fruit with a beer that New Belgium made to, that had a profile that would lend itself well with the fruit. So this has real watermelon, lime, hibiscus, and agave to give it a little sweetness. It doesn't taste much like a beer at all. It's very
It doesn't.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Very a little on the sweeter side. It makes a really good margarita. Like, well, I guess it would be like a
Okay.
beer
Okay. I can see
beerita
that.
kind of thing.
Beer garita.
Beer garita, sure. But yeah, this is something that they just came out within the past month, I think. So it's going to be a seasonal. I don't know if they're going to continue doing it like a series to do like different fruit combinations
Yeah.
in the future. I'm not really sure, but
I mean, that's a great fucking summer beer.
Yeah, I was
man.
gonna say it's a summer day. I don't want to really get tips because what's the ABV on this?
It seems
low.
low.
Yeah, it has to be.
it's 4%
Yeah.
and only
Oh, yeah.
110 calories.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about
We're starting out
calories so
easy.
much.
Okay, I appreciate
We
you
go from 4 to
respecting-
14 at the end. So,
I appreciate you respecting my desire to take it easy today, although you did bring a 14, and I'm looking at some of the tops over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Uncorked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
You
gotta
don't
eight
uncork a
different
3%.
Yeah, you don't uncork a 5. Like. Dangerous. No, this is good, though. I really enjoy this.
So, what are you excited for this year in the Stewards of Beer?
We're bringing back our classes. We did
Yeah.
we did some classes through the local community college. I don't know if we're we should say their name or not. Whatever. We taught some like community ed classes just on beer enthusiasts. So basically, you know, wine has lots of classes. Like you want to learn how to talk about wine, how to drink wine, how to serve wine, all this stuff. There wasn't really anything for beer. So we were approached actually by the school and said, hey, can we offer some beer classes? And it went really well. So basically we kind of have the class that teaches people how to, you know, how is beer brewed and what are the ingredients, and let's talk about some of those words. How do you describe the beer that you're tasting? How do you ask for a beer that you might like? And we did it in 2 levels. We did it Beer Enthusiast 101 and 102. And the 101 is, like I said, more just like general knowledge. It's really geared towards the people who don't really know a whole lot about beer at all, but want to. They want to be able to not necessarily impress their friends with their newfound beer knowledge, but they want to be able to order appropriately in a bar or go to a beer distributor and pick out something with limited knowledge that they would end up liking. And then the level 2 class gets a little more in depth with, we do some off flavor training, food pairing,
draft systems, you know, things, which is another thing we do, you know, at the festivals. There's always draft systems, they blow up, things like that. We do some basic knowledge on that, just so people have an idea if they want to do a kegerator at home, how to make it flow the way it should and not too much foam. And like Brooke said, to go to basically the 101, the basic class is for folks that drink Miller Lite, whatever it is. You know, they just want to learn a little more, or they're just getting into craft beer and want to learn a little more.
Without feeling intimidated.
Right. We take them on some. We also teach them kind of how not to be that snobby asshole that nobody wants to talk to.
That's important.
Like,
that's really important.
Don't judge the people that still drink the Miller Lite or the whatever it is. You know?
We also teach them a little bit of Beer Fest etiquette too.
Ooh,
yeah!
I love to hear some of this Beer Fest etiquette the Beer Fest commandments.
Yeah. Basically, don't be that guy. This is a good, it's a good one. Don't be that guy.
It's the Beer Fest commandments. I want to hear it.
You should write it up like that.
You should. That would be dope. Now that's another marketing thing, and I'm technically working for y'all right now.
Yes, you are. You're on the
technically working.
You're on the
y'all.
Non-existent
We
payroll.
need some royalties here.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see y'all trying to get that free
New
labor.
teas coming soon.
Trying to outsource their labor.
Yeah, he and I are the labor right now. So,
but I'm interested. So, has enrollment began in these courses? And
oh no,
not yet.
So,
no, it'll be launching tomorrow. Actually,
enrollment will be launching tomorrow. Yeah. The class will be starting April 30th.
Yep.
It'll run for 6 weeks. We're so excited to be partnering with Hal's Bottle Shop. Hal's Bar and Grill on Babcock Boulevard in the North Hills. They have an awesome bottle shop next door, and they have we've gotten a lot of our past class beers from them anyway. They have a great lineup, and they curate their collection really well. So we're really excited to be able to use their back room for the class this time. And we're going to be doing a little kind of like a little sneak preview night, I think April 9th. But more information about all of that kind of stuff will be up on our website, stewardsofbeer.com. So yeah, like I said, 6-week class starts at the end of April. Our goal is to do 101 now and 101 again in the fall, and then jump into another offering of 102 so that kind of people can funnel in from both offerings of 101, funnel into the 102 class. Because the 102 is definitely not going to be for everybody. That's going to be a little more nerdy level type stuff. But
just sitting here, I would think that for people who would enroll in a class, I would think that 102 is probably going to be the hot ticket. You know what I mean? I don't...
depends what their motivation is for taking the class.
Commitment, you're going to try to take it somewhere with some. You would think.
Yep.
I mean, I'd be interested to see what that 101 is like, because and what you guys, I guess, have in place at the end of it. You don't have to reveal it here if you don't like, but just what's the graduation party is like. I'd like to be at the graduation party for both.
Yeah, so
we do have graduation.
With 101, it's not just so the first 2 classes will be at Hal's. Those are kind of more basics, and
classroomy kind of stuff.
Yeah, classroom, and then we do field trips from there. So we go to Penn Brewery, usually do some behind the scenes stuff there, as well as go over some history of beer, as well as beer in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had over 300 breweries at one point, back before Prohibition or the dark times as we know them. Yeah, I mean there was a ton of them.
Surprising, I just never heard.
Every neighborhood kind of had their own brewery because people couldn't get anywhere back then. We didn't.
That makes
That's kinda
sense.
where
Cars,
it's
you had to
going.
walk everywhere.
It's
Yeah.
kind of going back to that now.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But obviously, higher quality beer, but
Yeah, and we go there, then we go to Piper's, and Hard at Piper's. If you guys know Hard, he's an awesome guy, and they do a crazy cask system that nobody else around does, and he gives us a little behind the scenes tour of the cask process and how they handle things and how they curate things, which is something nobody normally gets to see, is the basement of Piper's.
That's crazy.
you go in the belly of the beach. You get to go in the belly of the beach. I'd have never cut school if we had field trips where you would drink beer. We need to talk to Pittsburgh public. Like, look, we'll keep it below a 6. But
This is technically STEM, so
Right.
It's a lot of science in beer, right?
hella science
Right.
up here.
Hey,
you know what I
somebody need
mean?
to hire us.
Biology, chemistry, you know what I mean, engineering. There's all the sciences around there.
Imagine those SAT scores.
Man,
Through the
I mean, I remember we did like wine. We like fermented grape juice.
In high school?
Yeah, in high school.
I'm
whatever.
jealous of that.
Yeah,
we didn't do
I
that.
mean, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know what the ABV on that was, but you know,
The teachers know because they took all that wine.
yeah, they-
Grading that assignment was their favorite part of the year.
getting fucked up off of fermented Welch's.
That homemade Sutter home.
Box biology.
I come from an education background, and I don't know if they still do the senior projects in the public schools these days or not. But maybe 10 years or so ago, they were doing every senior, in order to graduate high school in Pennsylvania, local or public high school, had to complete some sort of senior project. And I was involved in kind of grading one student's project that involved growing hops, and he was working with his dad on it, but he was it was all about like the farming aspect of the hops. And I was actually really impressed with how seriously he took the science of his project, and there wasn't any I'm going to slip some funny business into this project, or I'm going to, I'm a kid and I'm going to work my way into getting some beer, whatever. It was very scientific about growing, setting up the.
No, he was already making
hops
money
and
before
everything.
that project. What he did was he sectioned off a part of his grow for you just to keep you appeased. The rest of that
Right.
grow paid the mortgage.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to grow the cousin of the stuff that I could really sell. Okay. Smart guy.
What is this? This is delicious.
Next
Okay.
one
Oh, we
is
poured
Liquid
another-
Paradise
You got
IPA. This is also from New Belgium.
I like this. I like the can. This looks like a Dave Bracey outfit.
So New Belgium has the Voodoo Ranger character and Voodoo Ranger series of beers, and this particular one is part of a rotating series. I don't know a whole lot about this one yet. This one just came out again this quarter, I guess. Very tropical, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we brought our notes. This is what we do for samplings.
This
We
is
bring our
real.
notes and we
Got
study up and
We
tell
don't
people
even get
the
colored slide
specifics.
presentations at my job. The slides be in color on your email, but then when you print them out, it's all gray and black. You're like, y'all cheap.
So
We don't just make shit up. I mean, sometimes. But
sometimes,
We
yeah.
make shit up all the time. 203 times.
Yeah.
It'll be the 204th time we make some shit up at some point.
This tastes like the equator.
Yeah, okay.
Were these hops grown in dirt?
Oh, we'll talk about dirt with the next beer.
Oh, word?
We're getting there. We actually are
shit.
getting
We're
there.
going to talk about dirt. Oh,
Yes.
damn. We ain't talked at 204 episodes. We ain't talking about dirt yet.
Well, that's why we keep
Dirt
doing
and
it.
beer,
We haven't
and it's-
explored everything.
There's a legit connection. Get to it.
Nice. Yeah, no, this is dope as shit. New Belgium will be at Fresh Fest as well, working on a collaboration with Ale Sharpton.
Why do you think we brought their beers?
So, yeah, shout out. Shout out to
We
the
also
gang.
carefully curated our beer selection today.
Yeah. This is fucking delicious. So wait, so these classes they could just sign up. I mean,
No prereqs.
not for the 101.
Take-
102 has a
Wait.
prereq of 101 with
You
us.
take the first one, you get Yeah,
gotta pass
unless you
with
know a
the average.
decent amount about beer. Otherwise, you're
Can
gonna
we-
be kind of lost.
Can we submit our website for like the? You know what I mean? Can we just be like,
Like to get opt out of it or
yeah?
whatever.
Can we opt out? Can we
How
get
do
a
you,
waiver?
yeah, how do you test out a 101? Do you have to come with a homebrewed beer, or how do you?
That's a good question, because maybe we should have some sort of test, because
Look at
when we
hold on, that's it.
hire
I ain't saying
Clap out.
shit else. I ain't saying nothing else. They
Take some
racing
notes
you
on
at
this.
this
I got a
podcast.
good, because when
I ain't
we
just gonna keep
when we
taking
hire
mine.
people when we hire people to join our team, we give them a little quiz, because it's one thing to enjoy beer and say, "Oh, I want to come work for you because I love beer so much, and you're going to pay me to drink beer, and it's going to be awesome." And it's a whole other thing to actually know about beer and be able to talk about beer and be able to learn on the fly about a new beer that you may not drink all the time. I mean, part of the reason why we hire the people that we do is because we know these people are enthusiastic about these beers anyway. Like, you're not going to find a lot of cheap macro stuff in their refrigerators. You're going to find the New Belgiums and the Deschutes and the Brew Dogs and, that kind of stuff. So I don't know where I was going with that, but prereqs.
Yeah,
classes,
I don't even
educated,
know
I
if
don't
I
know.
could even pass the test. I might just have to take.
Oh, yeah, we need a
101.
test.
I'd
That's
take
where I was going
101.
with that.
I might even jump in just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I was saying 101. I probably need that.
We might get a couple more listeners. That's how I think about it. Just go ahead and sit there, keep dropping the podcast. I'd be the most active student. I'm raising my hand on everything. I'm trying to answer every question.
answer at the end would have a little.
That would be
drinking partners
mosaically. That would be mosaic.
Get a-
We talked about that on episode 38 for the first time. We introduced the mosaic.
You get a drink every time you get a question.
Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah.
Get a shot.
Well,
of beer.
not that we want to promote over imbibing, but another benefit of us taking the class away from the community colleges, we're not going to be hindered anymore by their strict limits on how much alcohol we could include with the
yeah,
class.
yeah.
We can be a little more flexible, obviously within the realm of responsibility,
Yeah,
of course,
anytime.
but
Everybody
we
who's in
can,
community colleges getting drunk.
Yeah.
but not in their classes, not in the
sponsored
actual
by a
classroom.
community college. Right? Yeah.
I mean, that's not a knock on community college, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest about our demographic.
By having it at bars, you can either come and have a pre-study group, a post-study group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
did bet.
Everybody's doing extra study.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, you definitely getting some tutoring in. You know what I
Right,
mean?
extra credit.
And we definitely have, every class has some alcohol, because you got to try it. You got to sample as we're talking about it.
So I still didn't hear these beer fest commandments. Like, what are some of the things that that you probably
You don't have to have 10 right now, but just give us a little.
One is probably, if you can't say the beer that you want, or do more than just point and grunt. You probably
Maybe you need to take a little break.
take a little break, have some water.
Oh, okay. So not to over imbibe, man.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
one-
yeah.
no one to
That's
tap out.
probably commandment number one.
Yeah.
Don't over imbibe.
Yeah,
No
no
one
one
to
to tap out.
Yeah. Don't hog the brewer's time. If the brewer is
Clap it up
pouring,
on that one, yes.
yeah, and you're standing in front of the tap system, just BSing with the person pouring your beer, you are holding up a whole line of people behind
All these
you.
motherfuckers behind you right
Yeah.
here. I mean,
And
and the
that's
brewer
not cool.
probably, he's probably being nice. He or she is probably
Yeah.
being nice. And like don't want to shoo you away, but I mean, he's got
Right.
folks to sell beer to.
And I got a little insider tip. Most of the time, it's probably not even the brewer pouring the beer. So you're probably wasting your energy trying to cozy up to somebody who's
talking to a
just,
substitute teacher.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or they're just a volunteer wearing a brewery t-shirt or whatever, but they're, they might not even be associated, but don't be a fanboy. Don't overstay your welcome when you're at the front of the line.
And that's huge, man. I mean, and I hear that. I hear that from brewers. They're like, oh, man, this motherfucker. They see him walk in. They're like, that's going to be a good 20 minutes.
You can
just-
see when somebody going to be a long-winded individual.
Yeah.
Like, if you
Yeah.
work at service enough, you see a long-winded motherfucker covered up from miles away. You're like,
Yeah.
I smell a bunch of questions.
They're
They got their
probably
little
wearing pretzel
notepad.
necklaces too.
Yeah. Pretzel necklace,
pretzel
notepad.
necklaces.
I mean, which it's
Brewery
great to take
t-shirt.
notes, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
the
right. You can spot those fanboys
The
a mile
Untapped
away.
app already loaded.
Untapped is another commandment of
Yeah.
that's my own personal pet peeve. don't log your Beer Fest beers into Untapped. First of all, you're getting maybe 4 ounces of that beer. I don't feel like that's enough to give it a fair shake on what you want to judge it. Second of all,
that's huge.
You're trying 30, 50,
feathers.
whatever beers in one afternoon. Your palate is destroyed. There's no way that you can actually accurately describe your preference for that beer. I mean, most people just write, I liked it, I didn't like it, meh, whatever, like stupid comments in Untapped
shaking
anyway.
the table out here, like,
I know.
Put your Untapped away at these beer festivals, bro.
I say that I don't say it out loud, but people do that to us at beer samplings too. In a grocery store, we only give them maybe 1.5 ounces, maybe 2 ounces of a beer sample. And they'll pull out their phones and try to log into Untapped. And I'm like, I keep it polite because I don't want to shoo anyone away or, make anyone angry with us and be like, those stewards of beers, they're such jerks, But I do get a cringe a little bit on the inside, and I'm like, this 1.5 ounces is not enough for you to have known what that beer tasted like. Just buy a 6-pack and take it home, and then accurately describe it and judge it and whatever.
So what's the way to tell them not to do it in the professional sense? And like, put that. I know you can't say put that shit away. But like, what?
Smack the phone out of their hand.
Sometimes
you don't walk away from me when you pull mother. You go, you go right here in front of me. Just gonna go right here in front of me like this.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say something with a smile. Say something like, I think you'd get a much better description out of that beer if you take a 6-pack home with you.
Yeah. You white girl them. You get when a white girl say she can be as mean as fuck. She say it with a smile. It's like, was it mean?
That's the corporate suggestion, because it's not only stop what you're doing, but it's also here. I encourage you to buy more. That's textbuk right there.
Yeah.
That's retail.
We didn't even need you for that one.
That's retail 101. Okay, so what we're not gonna do is diminish my contributions.
And she said it with a smile too. We really didn't need you for that one, Ed.
So we start off with the tag off. Now she throwing bars at me. Okay.
That's how she goes.
So
he's married to me, so he hears that all the time.
So I'm doing him a service. Like I'm taking it.
Ed is good for that. As a man in a relationship, I rely heavily on Ed.
Every man needs somebody. Listen, every man is excited to hear the story about how she's mad at somebody else that night. He pissed you off? Tell me about it.
True.
What I'm gonna do? Don't mind that I turned on the PlayStation. Just I'm gonna play, and then you just talk. Go ahead, get it off your chest. Go ahead, let it go.
That's usually all we need from you guys. So many of you want to step in and fix things, and sometimes all we need is to
mansplain.
Vent about it.
My thing, I'm a fixer, and I'm like, if you got a problem and you're telling me about it, I assume you want me to fix the shit. I mean, I'm learning as I get older that you just want to talk, and I'm like, that's cool too.
Yeah.
If we want you to help fix it, we will ask you to help us fix it.
But see, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You're doing your thing, and then I'm like, well, I'm not gonna fix this, and then it becomes a bigger thing, and then you'll be like, hey, well, can you help me fix it? Now I'm like, well, see, had I maybe stepped in
2 issues ago. Right. 2 issues ago,
I saw it coming.
It's slightly,
you know what I mean? So
I'm a win-win type of guy. I'm like, look, women get mad at dudes for having their hobbies. You need to take advantage of their hobbies. Look, if your dude plays video games, that is the perfect time to just talk, because he's gonna be sitting there. Talk,
captive
let him play.
audience.
Just don't fuck with him. Don't stand in front of the TV. Don't get all, animated. But just say your shit. He's not gonna offer any advice right now because he's trying to figure out how to beat this level. He's been stuck on this level all weekend. It's Sunday night, this dude keeps killing him. But just say your shit and get it off. Now we both win. We both go to bed Sunday night happy, and we wake up Monday morning refreshed. He beat his level. You got a solution to your problem. He didn't give you any input that you didn't want. There we go.
Yeah, sometimes just talking it out gives us our own solution. So yeah, I do think that's a perfect
you need a little
scenario.
Sounding board along. I get that.
And fellas, be your friend's buffer. Go in there and you start the argument with her. All right, you get an opportunity.
True.
You be the villain for your man's wife or fiance or significant other. You be that villain. All right, she don't have to like you.
Yeah, exactly.
But he needs her to love him.
Exactly. It's okay to be the bad guy, fellas. You know what I mean?
Just outside of your home.
It's the relationship wingman. You see what I'm saying? You got a wingman to get them into.
See, we think it stops after they get the phone number. It doesn't stop after they get the phone number.
No. That's how you get the best man status. Yeah, you know I mean, you got to be in it throughout the whole thing. You know I mean, you got to be that friendly antagonist. Is how I would describe that.
So
how would you?
We got more flavor on.
Yeah. How would you describe this though?
This is where we're going to talk about dirt and beer.
There's nothing about this that I hear.
No.
I'd love to hear this.
Yes. Listen where I'm going with this. So this is another New Belgium beer. This is La Terroir or Terroir. I'm not so good at the French pronunciation.
Well, I mean, that's the.
But terroir is a word that basically
that
means of the earth,
Something
and it
like
has
a
to
cat
do with
yawn.
the climate. Yeah. But it's the climate that the ingredients were grown in. So like terroir is a very popular concept in wine. Like the same grapes that are grown in this region versus this region will produce very different tasting wines. Same idea. So the hops and the grains and everything that goes into this beer, where it comes from has a lot to do with the flavor that it imparts in the final product, as well as so this is a dry hopped American sour ale, and New Belgium has, I believe, the largest and most consistent sour program in the country. And they've been using the same natural organisms or whatever in their fooders since
He got his one.
I've heard it
get a
both
change.
ways, but whatever.
I'll be in trouble later, but
We was all on your side with that. Me and David, get him, Lee. Get him.
no,
Why don't you talk about the rest of the beer then?
no, go ahead.
He blew his load with the pronunciation. You gotta have all the information.
Well, I can read it off the notes, but
the terroir.
So what I was saying about this, the foeders. Am I saying it
you
right
say it
now?
however you want to say it.
They have not introduced any new bacteria into those. Those are the ginormous oak
Those big ass
barrels
oak.
that-
Remember we
right.
was on that tour with Trogs, and they
Yeah.
they had them
Wood
big
Jones.
ass.
Right,
Yeah, and
right.
that local brewery, Hitchhiker. If you go there, they have two real big foeders or
yeah,
fooders.
they got the- yeah,
that's
they
right.
own
11th
Yeah.
Hour has one now too, a really big
All
one.
right.
Anyway, so the bacteria that's already present, or the organisms or whatever that are already present in those oak barrels in their brew house, also contribute to the flavors that come out of this beer.
Yeah, I was I mean, talking to brewers or whatever, sours like how they like take these cultures or whatever and they use them again and again and again. Like and it changes over time. I mean, like which is crazy. This is delicious because it's funky too. And I like I don't know what style this is or whatever, sour or whatever, but like there's some sours that are just straight sour and then like they're
Almost
fruity or
offensive.
whatever. You know what I
Puckered,
mean?
like, yeah.
And then there's like some like this has like a nice body and it's funky. You know what I mean? Like it has a little bit of a little stank to it, which is and
Definitely
it,
got some stank on you.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's not just like a lemon citrusy kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like astringent. It's complex.
Anyone who knows me and my beer preferences knows that I'm not a huge fan of sour beers.
Really?
Still trying to get acclimated to them a little bit, but this is one that that I would drink with food probably. I wouldn't just sit around and drink a glass of this for just enjoyment, but I do think that I like how dry
Some
it
good
is.
Food,
Right.
yeah.
It has that
And
feel,
it's-
but you don't get that tingle. That
Yeah,
offensive
and
tingle
it's
that
not
makes
super
it hard
tart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I don't have the words yet. Maybe I
Yeah,
need to do 101.
that's what I'm saying. I was about to
That's
say.
what 101 does. I think I am the perfect 101 candidate. I know what I want to say. I just don't know how to say it beer-like.
Exactly.
I don't think tingle is a part of the name nomenclature.
No, but maybe it should be, because I think that is a good word.
Yeah.
It appeals to the commoner when
right.
I say that tingle. But yeah, with sours, like I don't even think a lot of times the flavors of it is the feel. Like I feel the sour flavor comes through, but that feel allows me to continue to drink and drink. Yeah, I mean, because some sours, like you drink, you get a taste of it, and you're like, damn, 12 ounces of this.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
Has to be a hard night.
Yeah.
You get like that involuntary reaction in your mouth that's kind of like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
and then,
sour
like
cinnamon.
some extra salivation inside your, like in the back of
Salivation.
your jaw.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
mean, like I can drink a good 12 ounces of that, at least a tenner. You know what I mean? Like a nice little tenner right there. That's dope. So what's next on the docket?
So the next one is a little sour also.
Y'all look like y'all at a club. This look like a
Lindeman's-
club VIP
This does
section.
the little in it. These little, popping
It
bottles.
does kind of look like a
popping.
champagne bottle.
We out here popping bottles.
Day and I have discussed on the podcast that we would like to be the first people to go to or do a rap video with just beer bottles,
craft beer.
Yeah, just
Yes.
'cause them bottles they stepped up the bottle.
Yes.
This look like a little bit of champagne,
It
a
do.
little champagne.
It almost
Well,
look like that. What's that?
It actually. Oh, sorry.
What's that? One of them
That
the
Clico- it look like a
Clico or whatever. Yeah, it look like that shit.
This
Yeah.
does have. No, wait. Is this the
Yeah.
one with champagne yeast?
Yeah, so this one's from Lindeman's, which is in Belgium. The brewery's been around since 1822. This is a
1822.
a lambic
So
style beer.
Is that are them motherfuckers that like they like just do that open shit?
Yep.
They are, yeah. So that's what this is. Is a
Open
lambic.
air fermentation.
They have the foeders, but they're open, which we don't really have here in the U.S. too much yet. They just get special, bacteria from the air out there. It's hard for anybody here to reproduce this,
'Cause they ain't got
This
that
is
Belgian air.
right?
Yeah, I was.
Well, I
just
mean,
hearing
different.
that. It's-
Everybody has different bacteria, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Different countries, different regions have different things that are all going to taste a little different. So this beer is a blend of 12-month-old as well as
shit. What
2 and 3-year-old lambic.
That
Smell.
shit
That's what it
Oh, and it's ginger. Did we
Yeah.
mention that yet?
Oh, is that
Not
what I'm
yet.
smelling?
Ginger, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
So
smells
the
like
base
crazy.
is the
The
goza.
ginger goza.
Yeah.
Am I off
Goose.
base with
Goose.
this? But
Depends how you want to say it.
this almost how do I explain this and not offend it? It almost smells like an old person's apartment. Like you ever, go to like a retirement home?
Yeah.
You be like
That just like that. Just
they putting all types of ointments on.
yeah.
Ointments on
I
top
get
of
that. Yeah.
and that has
It's
nothing
like-
to do with the taste of the beer, but it just
Now you've
whiff of
ruined
that.
it. You've
Little
ruined it.
combination preparation H
I'm
and
just saying,
Ben
everybody
that-
lost a great aunt that they loved, and you
that
can it's
that
nostalgic.
hospice. Yeah.
See, now that
Nostalgic.
works.
That
The
hospice waft.
Hospice is
Hospice
terrible.
waft.
Got a
That's
got a
terrible.
waft of hospice.
It's
I mean, I
it takes you back.
Hints of hospital.
Y'all talking about bacteria shit. I'm just saying. Smells like several ointments. It's an ointment cuvee.
Smell like a.
It's a cuvee of ointments.
Like when you take a cast off,
Thank you. Your wrist sweaty as fuck.
gotta change the ace bandage. Like
that funk that you get.
You have to clean the crease, your skin crease with a Q-tip. Like, damn, that dirt is caked in there.
Have you even tasted it
smell
yet?
like,
No.
That's an idea for a brewery.
Said it smelled like a pale.
Somebody
wrist.
breaks an arm, they can just take some of that and
Pour,
put
thank
it into
you.
a beer.
See, thank you.
Some of
This
that
is-
bacteria.
Yeah, some
None
of the
this,
bacteria. I mean, they've
as
used
bad as it
Cast
sounds, none
bacteria.
of this is negative.
No, it's not negative. It's I mean, shit.
If someone walked into
Listen,
this
man.
conversation in the middle just
Listen,
now,
man,
they would think that
I
would be
walked
negative.
into an Italian restaurant yesterday, and I was like, "Yo, this shit smell like a gym." Like when you first walk in, cheese is an offensive odor. It's an
Yeah.
offensive thing.
Yeah.
So when that once you get into it, and you're like, "Oh," and then more of the smells
When
come
it's
in or whatever,
contextual.
like, and it's like, contextual.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, "Okay, that's
Yeah.
mozzarella or some shit like that." But when you first walk in, that shit smelled like fucking funk.
The
It smelled
right
like
kind-
goddamn gym, and I was like, "This is fucking gross."
The right
Like,
kind of funk is right though. Like if your shit smelling too clean, ain't nobody working.
Nah.
If your shit smelling like Lysol, like I don't know, man. But if your shit smell like hard work and a dude who might not get 8 hours tonight, then I fucks with it. Like
Oh shit, that is delicious though.
it does have a different flavor. You said there's ginger in this, and
Yeah, it's a ginger goose.
Is that how you pronounce the goose? Nobody knows.
I believe this one is goose. G-U-E-U-Z-E.
We'll go with that.
I've never
I've
Because
heard
there's
one off
goos
and
and
he's done.
goes and goza,
Goza.
and they're all different.
Wait, there's different
He ain't saying nothing.
A goose and a goes and a goza.
are all different
Yeah.
things.
There's like GOSE with the umlauts above the O, which is another sour, but that's
So they're
more
all different. Though.
from a different part of Europe.
Because I keep hearing
Yeah,
like them
has
pronounced
a little
differently,
salt
and I
in
thought
it.
they were just all the same. But they're telling me there's different jits.
Okay, chief of edutainment.
All right.
And I think it's the same word, but just different languages. So like Belgium versus German or Dutch.
But
kind of.
why?
So
why are
it's
they
okay
why
to
is-
pronounce them differently.
But why
my
is
point.
why is it called a goose? Like, are gooses particularly sour animals?
Not
They might be.
goose?
Maybe that's where it came from
You're
originally.
supposed to
Is
drink it
they
straight
threw
from
a
the
goose.
bottle.
A
They
goose
just-
flew into the fodder.
And they were just like, fuck it. Yeah, I mean, these feathers work.
These feathers work.
Squeeze it, get it
Doesn't
going.
taste too bad.
This is
These
man.
feathers work. Remember when dudes used to have the feather on their pin? You used to have the exclusive feather on your pin.
Oh yeah,
Got the bald eagle feather. Like,
Back in the day, you was fancy writing.
gotta-
That was a sex text that you was gonna put into.
when you had your
the
good pen,
pigeon, when you had the
got your
pigeon fly
good
that
fe-
motherfucker, you know what I mean, to a
Homing
castle.
you
Like,
stick your sexy bird out. You brush the bird's feathers. You're like, go ahead, get me that pussy. Go ahead.
dearest Agatha.
That bird don't even flap. It just glide. It glide to the window.
She see the bird pop up on the window. It's like, clear the chambers.
Did they draw pictures of genitalia to each other?
True, you know what I mean? Like the first dick
Clear the
pigeon. You sending dick pigeons.
Oh, in a scroll? Your dick pic come out in the scroll?
The longer the scroll,
Not to brag, but have you seen my
Have
scroll?
you seen my scroll?
My penmanship is on point.
See my scroll. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man, I'd be like a fucking Game of Thrones. I had the House Bailey. It'd just be a dick pic scroll. It's just in the castle, but we eating. We got the long table, but I do the speech.
Need two
but my
birds?
dick pic scroll is behind me. Just to let you know I'm king of this whole village.
Got a flock of dick pigeons.
My dick pigeon to have waves. Waves in his feathers. Have a nice little tapered fade. That'd be good. Yeah.
Courting half the countryside.
I wonder what was the swag shit back then. Like, what was the shit that separated you? Like, you know, because my only context is unfortunately watching like these shows like Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You see a little bit of, you know, in the costumes, you see like, all right, people look like they got a little more money. But back then, like, what was the real flex? Like, what was the one thing you had? Because they didn't have cars or like the latest cell phones. So like, what was the flex back then?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, man, it's them pigeons, bro. Imagine you coming home and you see another motherfucker's pigeon in your girl's crib.
I'd be
You see the king's pigeon in your bed. Like, the fuck?
Nah, you wouldn't even be able to get into your own crib because the king, he had motherfucking people outside.
Yo, just
Imagine
wait.
you can't,
You
you can't even
you
walk
walked
in
up.
on your girl.
You're like,
you gotta see the king come out your crib. You can't even go. You're not allowed to go into your house to confront your woman. You got to see the king come out zipping his fly. Zipping his shit up.
I'll be back for your lawn later. I'll be back for your crops. Man, life was fucked up.
That's terrible.
Terrible, man.
And we forgot to talk. So this beer has
It is
a little bit
spelled
of champagne
different.
feel.
Goose egg.
yeah.
It does have a champagne feel.
I've never seen it
Champagne
spelled
yeast.
like that.
That's why it had
Guezi.
the cork on it,
Guiz.
because it has champagne yeast in it, and that could blow a regular cap off the bottle.
Gueasy F baby.
Greasy.
And this one
He's on fire.
in the notes in the research that we did about this beer, they kept coming back to the fact that it pairs well with Asian food or spicy food or Indian food. And that's
hibachi beer.
yeah, that's what
Bring your
I think.
hibachi beer.
Yeah, sushi for sure.
I'm trying to imagine that now. Like I would have never even put that together, but now
Yup.
A little
I can
ginger.
I can see some General So's with this.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
General
Get
Tso's
that,
is
get
the
that
go-to.
Szechuan, get that Szechuan style.
See, I don't know what Szechuan is.
I don't either, but that shit is delicious.
I fell back on the Szechuan until I got some more information. Like, what does this mean? Y'all, any word that has a Z in it that I don't think is in the right place, I need a little bit more information. Like, no, thank you for turning it into a beer podcast. It's not a beer cast without a belch. I'm falling behind.
Yeah, you gotta catch up. Ooh, we into the styles. We into my fun. Ooh, oh, man, I love me.
I know you like the barrel aged beer, so we got a few treats
Few
for
of those.
you.
Yeah, barrel. It smells delicious. There's some cocoa nibs in this bitch. Think those?
Yeah, so this is Deschutes Brewery out of Oregon, Bend, Oregon. And this is the Abyss 2018 Reserve. Lee, do you want to?
Like it ain't nothing to fuck around with.
It ain't.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit
Yeah,
is.
it's
So
a
this is what,
nice
11
barrel aged.
Oh my god.
11.2%.
The Abyss ain't nothing to fuck with.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's aged in bourbon barrels, oak barrels, wine barrels, and then blended together. They make this every year since 2011, I believe.
Y'all put your own-
2006.
Oh, sorry, 2006. See, she corrected me. She
Y'all
got
put
it
your
right.
own fact sheets together?
Not
No.
usually.
Like,
We usually
is it-
start with something from the brewery or from the sales reps. We work a lot with the sales reps.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point,
so
I
they'll
would think
send
people
us.
are trying to give you information.
Yeah, they'll send us as much information as they have, and then we compile that all and make it available for our beer stewards so that they can use that as a starting point for their own research.
Black strap molasses.
I love the stouts because it's as close to like liqueur that you know, when drinking beer, like you're drinking alcohol, but you're not drinking liquor. You know what I'm saying? But like the stouts get you that's that happy medium between like, and then there's a bit of milkiness in there for some reason.
Yeah.
That's why I love that milk.
Very creamy.
I don't even
I
like
love
milk.
that creamy shit.
That's what's crazy
Bruh.
about like I don't even
I
like
love
milk, but like if this shit went on top of, I don't know what cereal.
But you don't
this
like.
would
You
go
ain't
with.
never liked chocolate milk as a kid.
No.
What kid didn't like chocolate milk?
When
Count
we was drinking
Chocula?
when we did the folding
This?
pop.
Like
Yeah, the
lunch,
lunches.
you had to
lunches.
get the
You
chocolate.
bit, yeah.
Remember the folding pop and somebody got the white milk? He was looking at that dude like, what's
Yeah,
wrong
that
with
was
you?
weird. Like,
You just gonna get the white
I
milk?
don't trust
fam?
motherfuckers with the white milk.
We got chocolate in here.
Yeah,
You just gonna get the white milk, fam? What you doing?
yeah, no, that's what stouts. I mean, stouts like they remind me of either chocolate milk or coffee. I mean, I love all that shit. This is a nice, and it's even like this is like licorice.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
typically
Black
like
licorice.
anise is not a thing that I particularly enjoy. But I mean, if it's in here, it's hidden well. It's not like overbearing. I mean, like
It is subtle.
because like
yeah.
Sambuca is trash. Like that's trash shit. Jaeger is like it's like you know like so I don't
Got
typically.
what does that mean?
It was all
Jaeger.
Yeah,
It's
that's
nasty.
exactly
What,
what
you don't
Jaeger
speak
is.
day?
Anything
And
licorice
Jaeger's
is
like
just
the
like
car that won't start.
anise.
Do people drink Jaeger on purpose once they turn like 24?
Ah man, I hope not.
Where do they
man.
work?
Unless they.
Because certain jobs you will drink anything that's available.
Got it.
That's a problem. That's an issue. If you got a family member in their 30s drinking Jaeger, you might want to like talk and say, "Hey, is things all right at home?"
Right.
You put that 2 weeks in notice for them. You shouldn't have let
Whatever's going on, you got to stop.
Or maybe you could like wean them off the Jaeger and lead them more towards a beer like this. Like,
Like
oh, you
an
like that
Abyss.
licorice flavor? You probably don't actually like that licorice flavor. That's not why you're drinking it, but you know.
Good.
Nah,
This is very well done, though.
it is.
I even like the random point of satisfaction for me. I like the head on the stouts, like the brown like tint to it. I don't know why, and that I have to pause myself, obviously, but I do.
You like the head on the dark.
I have to pause myself. Like I'm not above pausing myself, but I do like it's better to look at. That sounds so much worse.
Yeah.
As I go deeper into
You just
why I
know.
like it, I get
You
more
like
and
looking
more
at the head?
pausable.
I enjoy
All right,
watching
so-
you go in that hole from above. Just watch
There's
you
no,
go.
and you can't get out.
Keep digging it. You almost there.
There's no getting out. Once you win, I'm committed now. At this point, what I gotta do, I gotta get you to the point that I was trying to make, and I'll take all the flack along with it. But some people, real motherfuckers, was with me on it. And they was still like, yo, that's not, you don't want to down that hill, brother. Don't down that one.
Keep going. You
So
almost
Deschutes
there.
started in 1988.
But no, I mean, like there is something about like from what I hear is that like when you pour, you're supposed to have a bit of head on it,
Right.
like a perfect pour shouldn't have too much, but it shouldn't be like flat either once it's poured. Yeah,
One like an inch ahead, it helps with the aroma. The right glass makes a big difference too, which we'll talk about in our class coming up.
That I would like to hear, because I am interested as why there are different glasses, who did the engineering. Like there's some real science that goes into that as well.
Spiegelau.
There is, yeah. Spiegelau does them. There's some other ones. It's amazing because I've taken the class and I was like, I get the idea, but once you take it and you pour a beer into a pint, and then they have you pour the same beer into the glass that's made for it, it's amazing how much the head stays longer, which is always a good thing. And go ahead.
I was gonna let you slide because I thought I'd already broken the tape at the finish line. I thought I had broken it open. Everybody could come on in.
I do enjoy when the head stays a little longer.
You get more aroma, it's just, it works out better. And the taste just changes even. So in a beer like this, you want it served a little warmer, like 55, 60 degrees, as opposed to, 27 degrees for like a light beer that you don't really want to taste.
We got another tour that came in through here. You want some of this down over here? No, you good?
Random
No,
question:
man.
Is there an optimal angle for the pour?
Yes.
Ooh.
What is it?
You keep it like 45-degree
I would say
angle
45, yeah.
till you're about, depends on the beer. Some beers are like the Lindemans that has the champagne yeast. You're going to get a lot more head with that, so you have to watch. You don't want to put too much head in at one time. Just
What I'm
put
trying
it
to
on.
do is be mature. I'm trying to be mature, but it's his facial expression.
He
Put it in a 45-degree
Did that on
angle and then tilt it up as you get the right amount in there.
It'd be easier to demonstrate if we weren't on a podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to
As a
see.
novice, though,
I'm doing it, but you can't see it. So.
Here's what's funny as a novice, though, this is real. This is something I really go through. So, like, when you're pouring it, like, I try to look like I know what I'm doing and tilt and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to pour it like right up against the side and let it fall. But then I've had experiences where there was no head as a result, and like, I don't know. That doesn't ever feel right.
Yeah, like,
So-
I like if there's no head, I'll like try to like,
But you don't
because I
pour it
don't never
directly
know
in.
it. I'll do it like and then it won't be no head. So then I'll try to like pull the glass away, and then
Snapping
just,
all of this, and see, that's why we got.
What you're doing with your hands, I just can't even.
It all goes back to the origin of life.
but
You prime that thing for the head.
yeah, and then I pull away, and then I just like let it
And see,
like
now
let it
he's-
drop
now
in.
He's just all right.
But I mean, like so that like because
Yeah.
I know what I'm
so,
saying.
Ed, so I was going to say, so when you're pouring, and you sounded right so far, you tilt your glass, you pour your beer so that it hits the bottom edge. Do you pour the entire thing that way?
So
Because
that's
if you
where
are, maybe that's why you're having problems.
So I don't. I get nervous. Like I try to slow down the pour. I try to
No.
really have my. I try to control but I don't know what the variables are. So then I'm just.
No, in
But
my
I
in
keep
my
the angle
opinion,
so I look like I know what I'm doing. Right?
so you want to keep that angle for maybe like the first 2/3 or so of the beer that you're pouring, and then
Then you swing
put your
the
glass
jig.
back
Then you
upright
swing
and
the
pour
jig.
the rest of
Alright.
the beer straight down into the middle of the glass.
See, I'm
a little
okay.
bit aggressively.
yeah,
so then
exactly.
you'll
Get
get
that aggressive.
then that end
Alright, y'all gotta
third that you
jewel.
pour gives you more of the head.
Earmark
The
this.
the
this
aggressive
point.
head.
Buzzy.
You start out slow and
Earmark
gentle,
this.
and then
That's
you
a jewel.
get a little harder as you go.
That's important though, especially when you're pouring for somebody else. Like you got somebody come to your crib and you want to pour. Like if you got a stout like this and you like, yo, this shit is dope.
Yeah.
Like you got to have a good pour with that.
Yeah.
Because the presentation is important. Like you can't pour this stout and there's no head on it. They just look it looked like a flat beer when they get it.
Yeah,
You want to get that
exactly.
right situation, and you got to swing the jib at the right time.
Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of controversy on some of the Facebook groups. People will be posting pictures of their beers, and people will be talking about, oh, look how full of a pour they gave me, and the beer was all the way up to the edge of the glass. And then people kind of jump on them and say, that's not how it's supposed to be, because half your aroma is missing.
You can't
if
be
you don't have a
affirmative
head on that beer.
Oh, your aroma is missing.
So much a lot of people don't realize that so much of the experience of drinking a beer is actually in smelling the beer. And that's why the foam, and that's why the proper glassware makes such a big difference, because the glassware is designed so that certain aromas hit your nose at certain times. I mean, it's exactly the same as wine glasses. There are multiple different shapes of wine glasses for this exact reason.
I didn't know.
I
just
always
thought
bought goblets.
Yeah, I just thought they were just being fancy. They were like, look, we found a fancy way to do this shit.
I watched Scandal, and she always got a goblet. Like, the goblet is
The goblet with the 12-foot,
it's the hard day
12-inch
at work.
stem.
That's the hard day at work sip. Like, when you got to have a goblet, you can't have a flute after a hard day. You got to have the big ass goblet.
Goblet feels more like regal in some way.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like mulling over, like taking over the world in a goblet.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like world domination.
But it could be mulling over, taking over the world, or do I pay the phone bill or the cable?
Sprint or Comcast? Which will I choose?
That's how you know you made it, when you don't have that debate anymore. Like, Sprint, can I put 50 on it?
Yeah.
How much can I do so they don't cut me off?
So the
Make
fact
a
that we
payment
know how to
arrangement.
pour so perfectly is due to the fact that we are Cicerone program certified beer servers, as are half of our staff. And we are working on trying to get everybody up to that level.
So you're Cicerones?
Cicerone program certified beer servers. It's the first of the 4 levels of the Cicerone
like
program.
beer
4
masons?
levels of his Cicerone-ish.
No.
Is it like beer masons?
No.
Not like beer masons?
No, basically what it did. So having that certification under our belt means we know about proper beer clean glassware. We know the proper serving angle and technique. We know the general information about beer regions and beer styles and stuff like that. And again, just kind of bringing it back to our team and how we hire the people that know what they're talking about. So we placed some importance on them having that certification under their belts.
Before we get into the beer, can I just highlight, I respect how you continue to make it a point to harpen back to, the proficiency of your team. I think as employees, I'm sure they're encouraged by that and they feel appreciated. You know what I mean? Like on a cast where none of them are here, but you continue to harpen back to their certifications, their proficiency. Like, and I respect that out of an employer. And like, it's really cool to have these sort of jobs. You got, it sounds to me, and it sounds like y'all created y'all job. Like, it just, for real, you created
we
y'all.
We pretty much did.
Yeah.
You created it. And
we did before I even entered the scene. So.
Right. So, and now you've been able to, all right, we built a staff, we built a team around us, but that team will always feel appreciated. They're always involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, we getting them certifications, getting them that knowledge. So big ups to y'all on that, man.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to say that before we get into the beer.
No, that's huge. I mean, shit.
We continuously offer training opportunities for them too. Like I said, we're lucky to have so many close connections with folks in the Pittsburgh area, whether it's a beer rep or a wholesaler or whatever, that is able to get our team together. We have like the New Belgium rep come in and say, this is what our new beers are that are going to be coming out soon. Let me tell you about them. Let's have a taste of them. Let's talk about them. Here's what we as a company want you to convey to customers on our behalf. And we've done that several times. And it's something that we take very seriously, just try to empower our team to be as knowledgeable as they can about the beer. Because, I mean, if they don't look good, we don't look good, right? So, we want the team out there knowing as much as they can and speaking knowledgeably about the brands that we've been hired to represent.
And that's a lost art in like small business, ownership and whatever. Like, it's a lost art. And all right, so you want to grow. Everybody thinks growth when they start a small business. They're thinking about bottom line, the dollar, whatever, but they don't think about the team that you would need. Like, you're going to grow. You're going to outgrow your capacity to work all of this. Like you can't do this by yourself. So you got to have people out in the field. You got to have stewards out there to like push that narrative for you, to push that thing for you. And they got to feel like a part of what's going on. The worst thing about, I think, people who work 9 to 5s for large corporations is they just feel like a number. They don't feel important. It's just like, I'm a cog in the wheel, and if I get squeaky, all right, they got another one somewhere in plastic they gonna bring on board. Like, nobody gives a damn about me, and it just seems like y'all like, deal with your folks on a different level.
So a couple of things. One, how do people are you guys like looking to expand your team? Are there opportunities?
Well, they just hired
to,
2 new people.
They
just hired us.
Marketing team right here.
Yeah, shit happened.
To the beer, and then 3. Can you maybe like share some experience like being a woman in craft beer? Because I know that's a completely like different experience than the average beer goer. So
yeah, are we hiring at this particular moment? No, but we might be. It kind of just depends on what our projections are looking like. We have been fortunate enough to be getting more and more sampling. So I don't know if I mentioned, like, we get hired. Our team gets hired by the breweries or the wholesalers, and so we don't have to go out and set up samplings. So our growth is dependent on whatever our clients are trying to push, or how many sampling events they're trying to get covered, or beer fests, how many beer fests they're trying to cover. So it varies from month to month. Like, I felt really bad. We hired a few new people at the end of last year, got them trained, had their shadow shifts and everything. And then January rolls around and we had like 20 samplings come our way. And like I said, we have like 22 people. So I said, I'm sorry, everybody, we don't really have enough work to give all of you this month, but it'll pick up. And then March, we had like 57 events. So who could have predicted that? Yeah. But it does seem to be growing. And whenever we are hiring, we do post that on social media. So we're pretty active on Facebook and Instagram, not so much on Twitter, but we have a presence there as well. But if anybody is interested in working with us, the best thing to do would just be to keep an eye on our pages, follow our pages, and then you'll see whenever we're seeking new beer enthusiasts to join our team. What was your second question about the beer?
It's Brooklyn Brewing. Shout out to Garrett Oliver, who will also be at Fresh Fest this year.
Why you think we brought that beer?
I'm trying to do
so this is a Black Ops.
We were like, let's do Fresh Fest collaborators.
The Tide thing, when they used to put the Tide things in the commercials, they would flash
like
Tide.
Blip it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do it.
Yeah,
just let it just be.
I've been enjoying it.
Buzzy can work it on the editing side. It's gonna be this one long Fresh Fest for like an hour and a half through the whole episode.
This is like a low hum.
The most epic Fresh Fest ever.
So this is Brooklyn Black Ops. Technically, this beer does not exist.
Oh,
according to their
notes.
Description.
Yeah. Shout out to Garrett Oliver, who is touted as like one of the beer gods, and
super nice guy.
Just happens to be black. Which is kind of dope, and going to be at the Black Beer Festival.
There's a whole thing about God and blackness that we can go into.
Maybe
that's not this.
This is not this
episode. But this is good.
Yeah, this is fucking delicious.
This is divine.
Yeah.
So this is another barrel aged beer. So it's a stout, right?
Yeah, stout. It's has a little bourbon notes.
Got a little kick, don't it?
A lot of flavor to it. I pick maybe a little vanilla coconut kind of taste to it.
11.5% alcohol.
Damn.
Ain't no
Say that first.
Yeah.
Sorry.
11.5%
That other
alcohol.
one
kill me with
that
that.
other one was 11.
We're working our way up.
That other one was 11, and this is a.
No, they killed beer drinkers. Kill me with that shit. Want to just describe the beer then as a footnote. Yeah, it's a 13.
By the way,
There's alcohol in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, this is good. I like. It's got a little like the after flavor. It's got a little kick. Like you drink it and then all of a sudden it's just like, no, for real. No, it was good.
Just like a slight little burn
at
the end of it. Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot. I mean, some some higher alcohol beers you can taste right away, but this one for 11%, it drinks real nice.
Some of them are very aggressive. I think the stouts because I do like stouts. I think the stouts that I'm a little more apprehensive to drink are they're too aggressive up front. Like you drink a stout and you're like, this is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's like super, like the feel of it, and you're like, all right, well, this is about 8 ounces.
The aroma, I guess. I guess that's where aromas come in. Like the aroma just it hits
the aroma, like the mouthfeel. I mean, it's thick sometimes. I mean, like it's boozy at times, like where you like. You feel it like once you swallow. I mean,
come on,
you get a
that's that burn.
That burn, and like and then you breathe it out, and like you get that drag, and you're like, yeah. I mean, I think brewers in general are getting better at hiding that, which is dangerous.
Right.
And I mean, like they're starting to get they like brew beers at these like 10 to like 13%, and they used to they're starting to drink like the 8s used to. You know what I mean? And now the 8s are drinking like fucking 5s. You know what I mean? Like so it just Oh,
it is scary to think like when we aged out of being cool, which I probably have already. Like what's the drink gonna be like? You know what I mean? Like what?
Brian.
And I got a daughter, man. She 5. I'm supposed to be sliding her an intense ass cuvee.
55%.
79% cuvee. that shit drink like Snapple.
79% cuvee. You can't even feel that.
Strawberry, kiwi, naked juice,
cocoa
tasting.
nibs.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, this is delicious, man. This has been I don't know, man. This table is filled with a lot of variety.
They flexed on us real heavy.
Yeah.
They flexed on us real hard.
Yeah, and did it well. They did it in the way that you would expect stewards to do. Like, I mean, like we have a lot of guests on. We have a lot of brewers. We have actual brewers that haven't gotten through as many beers. And with the description and like, I mean, understanding that you guys have, which is dope. Like typically about like 2-3 in, we get shit faced and forget about beer. So you guys have been like, but that's what you do. That's what you like. When everybody else is getting shit faced and forgetting about life, you maintain like
we keep it about the beer.
You keep it about the beer.
We get shit faced, but we still remember the beer.
You manage the madness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, y'all flex on us, but it wasn't to feel like, yo, this is how we do it. It was almost like this is how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just felt it's a natural progression. It felt like you pulling shit out. You wasn't like making a big parade of like the shit you had. Like it wasn't like horns. Brum, 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 here we go. Screw. And we do that, but it's what I mean? We're not stewards. we just folk.
We do want to give a shout out to the folks who hooked us up with these awesome beers. So the first few were from New Belgium. Shout out to them. Shout out to Nate Riley, their local Western PA beer ranger. He's an awesome resource for our team. He's done great trainings for us. He's a good partner of ours. And then the next couple, the Lindemans and the Deschutes were from, and the Brooklyn. Those all came from Frank B. Fuhrer Wholesaler, which is a big client of ours. We have a great partnership with them. And then the one that we're on now, which we haven't even talked about yet, is a Brewdog beer. So I know that you guys have Tanisha Robinson coming in for Fresh Fest as well. So we wanted to showcase 1 or 2 Brewdog beers. So yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah, these are some
so homicidal
exclusive stuff we got from our. Yeah, we had to say that at least once, right? From our a good friend of ours who I've known for years that works for Brewdog now, and he shipped us this stuff just for this event. So or for today's podcast.
It was a soft flex.
We're an event. Like that was shit. Like, we ain't just a podcast. We're an event. Like, he's like, listen, we about to.
Hey, for us, it's an event.
I was saying it's a soft flex. You guys just let that sit on the ones who catch it. They caught it. If not,
we may be somebody special. That's what's up. I'm glad. Thank you. What was your friend's name again? Tell him to holler at shit. Homicidal Puppet Help Desk. That's a fucking name and a half.
Yeah.
Brewdog has made some crazy beers, and this one is called Homicidal Puppet Help Desk. It's a
as well. It's very
I just want to say something about Brewdog. So like those of us that are kind of immersed in the craft beer scene, we've at least heard of BrewDog. We at least know who they are. They're those crazy people over from Scotland who brewed
like 90%.
Yeah, like the world's highest ABV beer.
55%
And they're the
stuck it
ones
in a
who
dead squirrel
stuff
or
the
dead
beer
rodent.
in
Yeah.
the taxidermied animals.
Yeah.
And you might also know they have a hotel over in Columbus now. And that's cool. But so they've just launched in Pittsburgh in February, and we've been doing a bunch of samplings for them. And I have been really surprised at how many consumers have never heard of BrewDog before. So I'm like,
I'm
like, yeah, of course,
they're
BrewDog,
out of
but-
Scotland originally, and
Yeah.
and then like I feel like I'm only aware of them because of that article. Like whenever they came out with that like crazy high, like ABV and score or whatever, it just like blew up on all the like pages, and people were like, "Why the fuck would you even drink this?" Like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, again, that was my retort. Like
Moderation.
But that's who
anyway.
BrewDog is. Like they just try to do crazy things to get people talking.
It was a very craft beer, like community centric type thing. You know what I mean? Like we were like, oh shit, but like I don't think the average consumer like was even like fully aware, and like they're not really in a lot of markets either. You know what I mean? Like so I think most folks are like,
we
whatever.
feel pretty excited to have them in Pittsburgh now.
They're coming to Pittsburgh, and I like, from my understanding, like open up like a Brewtel here at some point. So,
Brewtel.
yeah.
I'd like to touch
nice.
on that, and I think it's I think that dynamic actually has helped us in this podcast, because I think there are levels to quote unquote being in the industry, and I think it's reflected even on this podcast. Like me, I'm learning new shit. I don't know that I would even say that I'm immersed to the degree that you all are immersed in it. You know what I mean? Everything's new to me, everything, whatever. But I've heard of BrewDog, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't be out on the streets and just give you a bunch of facts about it. And Day, obviously the more seasoned individual, he was into it a little before us, you know what I'm saying? So like you got all these different levels, and you can kind of choose what level you are, you know what I'm saying? Like I like craft beer. I enjoy it. I enjoy the different flavors. I think it's interesting when we had the discussion. Am I at home researching it all the time? Nah, I ain't gonna say that I'm doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like every now and again I might get some shit and be like, oh, let me see where this is coming from. I have the advantage of motherfuckers just come in and tell me about this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So imagine being me and not having the podcast though. Like you can really, really like the industry, but it's so complex. Like look at our spread now. You know what I'm saying? Like you could spend a whole podcast on any one of these beers, and like we've had 6 or 7 of these now. So there is levels to this shit, to be cliche. Like it's different levels, and I think that's why we work. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to get 2 different levels interacting with each other, and then a whole nother level when we're interviewing like brewers and stewards or whatever. Like that's a whole different level. Like we sit here looking like, damn, really?
I like that's what I love most about this podcast is the learning experience. You know what I mean? Like we're both like it gives me way too much credit. I don't know nearly as much as, you know what I mean? I still consider myself a novice in the whole thing. You know what I mean? So like and we try not to approach it with like this like, you know, pretentiousness, like, oh well, you're drinking, like, you know what I mean? And like you said, I mean, like don't talk down to folks because they have a different like experience. We were all there. Nobody was born woke. Nobody was born drinking motherfucking like, you know, 11%
beer woke.
Yeah, like 11% cocoa nib motherfucking stouts and shit. I mean, so there's that.
Well, then there's even a whole other level that's, I don't know necessarily above us, but different from us, of like the whale chasers, the ones who are like, people who are going to special releases and going out of town to get like special small quantities of beer so that they can either cellar it or trade it or share it or whatever.
You got beer on consignment now?
So
they
much
got
of that.
They got that whole secondary market that's
and
out there.
I don't, to me, it takes a lot of energy to do the research that it requires to know which breweries are up and coming, which breweries are worth money, or which all that kind of stuff. So that's a whole other angle to the industry. That's something that I'm not even.
It's interesting to watch this industry round out and reflect the economy as a whole. Because like just with that example, having that secondary market, that consignment like type of situation, that's not something that I even attributed to beer. But like there are people like, look, I'm on levels that you may not have the time or resource to deal with. So what I'll do is I'll do this work for you, have it on deck here. I'll sell it to you. I'll have it on deck. I'll age it. I'll do all this for you. You're gonna have to pay a premium for it. But I'll travel. I'll go to different places. I'll get it. You'll be able to just come through me. That way you ain't gotta be in touch with or you know what I'm saying, whatever's going on, boom, just go to my, you know what I mean, website. I got all this shit. What you looking for? You need a stout, you need this.
That might be
Boom, I
illegal.
got it.
Just saying.
Well,
Having
now
a
you
website
start
for it, I
dealing-
mean.
Well, Instagram is damn near a website at this point. You know, you put your shit up, like somebody hit you in your DMs, like, I want picture number 12.
So we got to get out of here. But before we go, we were told that there was a 14%, and I thought they was lying. I wasn't even gonna lie, man. I thought they was like just bullshit.
Nah,
Like,
I didn't take them as bullshit. I didn't see that as them bullshit.
There's actually a fucking 14%.
Got to finish strong.
Barrel
It seemed
aged
like they was
imperial
fucking around.
milk stout. You mug. I'm so fucking
Call it
excited for this.
Demigod?
Called Declassified Demigod.
From Brewdog.
Another one.
yeah.
So please tell us about this, and then tell us where you're from. Or tell us where they can find you. That's
Yeah,
fucked
and
up.
I hate to
He
say it, we
fucked up.
actually
Yeah.
have never even had this beer before.
Because
you know, our
he
friend
can't
James
break the
shipped
seal.
these beers
Oh,
in.
so
He was
it's
trying to go
new.
break the seal.
Oh.
Look, he was trying to go break the seal. Now you got to stay. 'Cause he has to be here for your first experience.
These are not beers you can get in Pittsburgh right now. So these are actually pretty limited. Some of them are, I'm not sure how often they'll release them, but they were released once in Pittsburgh or in United States.
Okay.
And James got them for us in
That's
here.
a big deal.
But yeah, Brewdog makes some crazy stuff. I mean, we all know they've made 3 of the highest alcohol beers in the world. You know, Tactical Nuclear Penguin. Don't remember the other 2 right now. The one with the squirrel, which is I think called End of the World. And they just
I need so
they
much
get
more
crazy with this
information
stuff,
about
and
that squirrel
it's so.
situation.
So the squirrel, when it came to the United States, the way they released that is it was $20,000 for a bottle.
Shit.
So anybody that invested in the new brewery they were building in Columbus that invested at least $20,000 got a bottle. They only made 10
Okay,
bottles
so
of it.
it wasn't
'Cause
$20,000 a bottle. There was a whole package around
Right,
it. That's
yeah.
smart. That they marketing team operates on levels higher. They're not going to offer to
Yeah,
you.
if you wanted a bottle of beer and a dead animal, rodent of some sort, you had to pay $20,000 for it.
Want a
I
bottle
think they
of
do
beer,
that
that's a
for a
rodent.
lot of their stuff too. They call it the equity punk system.
Yeah.
Is like a crowdfunding kind
Okay.
of investment type situation.
But you get the feel
Yeah.
of exclusivity.
Yeah.
It's not just I'm just
You
giving
get
you
perks,
money.
I think, for
Right.
having bought into their whatever their latest venture is. Whether it's the hotel, I think they did the equity punks thing for the hotel.
They did for the brewery and the hotel. Yeah.
Yeah,
With
they're
that,
very forward thinking. Those Brewdog
Well,
guys.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think that's. I mean, again, that's taking. If you see those sort of things in different industries, you know what I mean, that VIP kind of sort of situation. But with beer, not so much. You don't see it as often, but you could. I mean, if you have the time, if you are thinking ahead of time, you can brew that, age it a little bit, get it together, then you can offer it to those folk. Not shit. Damn, I wish I'd have thought of it first. I could have been working for Brewdog, but I offer my services to Stewards still.
Nice.
thanks. And I
One
think
man marketing team.
One
Ed
man-
Bailey.
well, no, it's me and Day.
Oh, you had. I don't know if I heard many contributions from Day on the
This
marketing side.
whole
It's a team.
podcast is just us playing off of each other. I can't do what I do without him coming in with that scarf.
It is a fantastic scarf.
I think Buzzy's using his certification to cut us off, right?
Buzzy got a long night, so he's
Yeah, we got a
I
whole
feel like
other
we
fucking
were
podcast. This
very-
is usually 2 or 2.
we were very composed for as much beer as y'all brought. And we haven't jumped into this 14%, so God bless us on this second cast, because after we drink the 14, whatever. But yeah, did we get? Because I know you ran to did we talk much about the 14, the demigod?
The demigod. Yeah, well, that's what y'all are supposed to be talking about
We
when I
did.
broke the seal. So you're all good then, I mean.
Yeah,
so-
I think we got that. We just have
We're going
to
to try it, and then they're going to let everyone know where they can find the stewards if you need to get in contact, if you want to enroll for the classes, if you just want to get more knowledge and be a snob without presenting it to the public.
Yeah.
That's a delicate balance that you all have to facilitate, too. Like, I'm going to give you all this knowledge, but you can't be a sucker about it.
You have
Like,
to use it
gotta-
wisely. right?
Exactly.
You got to, y'all Yodas.
Yeah, so people can find us at stewardsofbeer.com. On Facebook, like I said, most of the bread and butter of our business is the samplings that we do in grocery stores and beer distributors and occasionally in bars. We have Facebook events posted for every one of those. So if you want to check out where we'll be that weekend, go to our Facebook page and look for events in your area so that you can just pop in and say hi. And we would love it if you said, hey, I saw your event on Facebook that brought us here today. And that's where we'll usually give you some nice little bits of swag for purchasing the beer that we are hawking that day. And
Twitter,
Instagram and Twitter.
As Stewards of Beer.
Yeah, Stewards of Beer on both of those. And I think that's
about it. And we are doing, so for anybody that DMs us, private message, whatever you want to call it, on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook.
Or emails us.
At
info
the first 5 folks that do that listen to the podcast, we're going to give you $11 off the class. The class is going to be $110 for the 6-week session, but we'll make it $99 for you guys.
10% on that,
that's an extra beer or so for pre-study.
They know us.
There's something. There's some research that says something about doing that 9 prices.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah,
that was part of it. So
yeah. Yeah,
it's under $100. So
like $100. I don't know, but $99. Yeah, that's a deal. Yeah,
bought some sneakers because they had a 9.9.
See, we didn't even need to consult you on that one. We knew that one already.
If you're old enough, you remember Atari had that whole
She's
$49.99.
negotiating she's negotiating my salary.
Your salary. Yeah.
She keeps throwing subtle jabs about how we can do certain things without you. Certain information we're privy to that we don't need your expertise. That's fine. They let people know where they can find us.
Hey, man, we are the Drinking Partners. This is the Stewards of Beer, and if you're looking for them, you can also find them at Fresh Fest. Yeah, I mean, August 10th down at Nova Place, freshfestbeerfest.com. We are the Drinking Partners. You can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod.
Hey, let's we want to thank Lee and Brooke for coming through, man. This is probably one of two. This is one of the more beer centric, but not a boozy drunk situation. It was really a journey.
Edutainment, really.
Yeah, I really appreciate the variety you brought through, the information you brought through. Like it was a good situation. And this is a capsule or a look into what those classes that 101 and 102 will be. If you're interested in beer, I would definitely suggest that you look into that, man, because they have a breadth of knowledge, connection. I mean, it's not just like you're not working hard, but you working hard. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to get on your level. You know what I'm saying? So we respect what you guys do. We appreciate what you've done for Fresh Fest, what you do moving forward. As always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. How about that champagne? Yeah. So like, is the green bottle with the yellow tag? Is that like vintage champagne? That's like, this is champagne. Is that why Heineken tried to do the green bottle white tag?